Hello students, let's do the rounded paper punk. Choose the correct factored form for the yellow area. So we're trying to find a yellow area right here. How do we do that? Well, since the circle is big and the square is small, if we take the circle area minus the square area, we'll get the yellow area that remains. So basically we're trying to punch out the red area. We're going to use a couple formulas. The radius r is 18x. So going all the way across is 18x. And then the square side length is 8x. All right, so there you go, fun fact. So basically what we got to do, again, we got to do the area of the circle minus the area of the square. Okay, we're going to use pi r squared for the circle area and then s squared for the square area. Okay, here we go. Area of a circle is pi r squared. So what is the radius? The radius is 18x. So we're going to put 18x right there. Pi r squared. Minus the area of a square. Area of a square is s squared, and the side length is 8x. All right, let's do some powering here. Pi 18x squared is going to be a pi 324 x squared, because you have to square the 18 and you got to square the x. When we square the 8 and we square the x, we would get a 64x squared. All right, it's because we're subtracting there. Okay, so now we have to factor, which means we got to take out as much as possible without making a mess. I'm pretty sure you can take out a 4 for the numbers, and you can take out an x squared for the variables. So you can factor out a 4x squared. So remember, when you factor out the 4x squared, it goes in the beginning of your factored answer because you have to tell people what you did. You took out a 4x squared, and then you put the remains inside. So this is kind of the setup here. Anytime you answer these questions, you put your GCF out in front, and then you put the remains of your division inside the bracket. All right? Inside the brackets, excuse me. Okay, so when I divide all of these pieces by 4x squared, the pi is going to stay, so we'll keep that in there. We'll put that back in there in a second. Let's cancel the x squareds. Those are going to go away. 324 divided by 4, I believe I calculated an 81. Okay, so that turns into 81. The pi is going to stay. Minus 64 divided by 4 is a 16. And that's the best I can do. X squareds cancel. 324 divided by 4 is 81. 64 divided by 4 is 16. That's all I can do. So if you were doing this multiple choice question, you would look for a 4x squared being factored out, and then an 81 pi minus 16 left over. Again, there's nothing you can really do in terms of simplification. Since this pi is attached to the 324x squared, you can't really combine it to the 64x squared. So you kind of have to leave it alone. It's its own little thing. It's like its own little extra variable. So like imagine if you had a brand new, or not brand new, but you had a completely extra variable on here. You can't get rid of it. It's on this term all by itself, so there's nothing you can do. All right, so a quick replay again. What we do, we took the area of the circle, pi r squared, minus the area of a square, which is s squared. We followed our frying pan rules. We factored out a 4x squared. We put our GCF in the front, and we put our remains on the inside. Again, the remains happen when you actually do the division. So, all right, that's it for the rounded paper punk. We'll see you in class.